I would like to thank everyone for coming out for the eulogy of my grandmother, Theodosia Payne. She was born October the 9th, 1930, and she passed away February 13, 1983, at the young age of 53. My grandmother was known as Debbie to her friends, and she was known as Nana to her grandchildren. She was my best friend, she was my teacher, she was a warden, and she was a mentor. As I grew up, as a kid, my mom couldn't afford to buy me the name brand sneakers, the Converses and the Pro Kids, and my grandmother gave me a job to come over every other weekend when she was off, to help her with housework, to do chores. When I would go over for the weekend, I would separate the laundry, we would put them in bags, we would go to the laundromat. She would have a grocery list and an envelope with money in it. She would take me to the grocery store. She would push the cart while I got the items that were on the list and check them off. I had to pay the cashier, and we put them in the bags and buggies, take them home. We would cook dinner at night, and for dessert, we will always make something from scratch. I learned how to make syrup from scratch. I learned how to make cinnamon buns. I learned how to make the peanut caramel crunch from scratch. We would watch TV till TV went off, and that's back when, y'all don't know nothing about this, but that's back when the flag would come up and the little song and the horn. Yeah, the national anthem. Thank you. But they would play the national anthem and the TV would just go black. And I Love Lucy was her favorite program. Then as a teenager, my mom and my grandmother bought a house together, and that's when she became the warden. We had regular chores. We had to be in the house by the time the street lights came on. We were not allowed to sit on the stoop. And on Sundays, we ate dinner as a family. She would say, okay, dinner's almost ready. That was our cue to go upstairs, wash your face and hands, put on a shirt with a collar. You could not wear T-shirts to her dinner table. It was more like you would dress business casual, and you would come down and we ate in the dining room as a family. And then after dinner, we would have dessert, and she would divvy out, give everybody their allowance for the week. July was when Nana was off the first 2 weeks in July. And the first week of July was spring cleaning. So we used to hate looking forward to the summertime in July. Well, we did spring cleaning the first week, and after we did what we were assigned to do, we had 68 windows in our house. And she would come around with white gloves on, and she would just, touch stuff. And if her gloves got dirty, you didn't do it right, you had to do it all over again. You couldn't just fix what she found wrong. You had to start from the beginning and do the whole chore over again. And then on the second week of her vacation, we would take our family vacation. And if I remember correctly, we would always go to Atlantic City. We would rent a house in Atlantic City, or I think it was more like a bungalow or something like that, but we would rent this place in Atlantic City because it had kitchens and bedroom and everything. And we would spend the week in Atlantic City on the boardwalk and on the beach and stuff. As an adult and a parent myself, I look back on everything that she's taught me, and I can really appreciate, because I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now, and she's just been my inspiration and my mentor. One of my mentors, actually, because my mom is another mentor. But an apple doesn't fall far from the tree, because she's a carbon copy of her mother. And another thing that's fascinating, too, about our family is if you go to my house, my brother's house, or even my mother's house, all of our houses are set up pretty much the same, which is a carbon copy of my grandmother. I miss her. I would never forget her. And I would just like to thank everyone for coming out to learn something about my grandmother, because she was very special to me. And thank you. Get home safely. Good night.